Yeah, hi friends. Today we're going to cover some other fundamentals of mathematics. We're going to cover variables, constants, coefficient, and factors. Okay. So let's look at variables first. What are variables? By the word variable, it means variating or changing. Okay, variable. Changing. So in mathematics, or when you talk about anything in mathematics, so supposing you have a container box, okay, so you have a box here and I ask you to carry, I don't give you this box right now, I just give you this water and ask you to carry it from one place to another. Is it easy or difficult, or is it impossible? Just think over it. So if I give you this container, carrying this water becomes easy for you. So you take this container, fill that water in it, and you can carry it. Becomes easier for you. Similarly, you have something called, in mathematics, you have something called variables, which also do what this container here does. It carries water. So variable in mathematics carries values. Okay. So, and you can name anything as a variable. You can put anything as a variable. I'll give you a few examples. See some common examples with in every textbook or every person uses is basically small x, small y, small z. These are few common, very common letters which are used to represent variables. Okay. So just catch the basic of this. So variable is a letter which acts as a container to store something. So in mathematics, you store values in them. Values. This is a syntax. Okay. This is a variable part. Left part is the variable and the right part is the value. This is the variable, is a container which stores some value or constant or number. So if I give x, this is a simple example I am giving you for variable. Just see if you can understand and grasp it. Okay. So if I say x is equal to 1 and I ask you what is 2x. So there is another concept that comes into this, is something called substitution. Substitution, if you remember, if any of your teachers in your classroom doesn't come, there is a substitute teacher that comes over and teaches some subject, right? A substitute. So this substitute is basically replacing something. Okay. So if I give you a value, if I give this variable x a value of 1, what is the value of 2x? So what you do is you substitute this variable x with this number. The value of this variable is 1. So what you do is 2 into 1 is 2. So the value of 2x, is 2 into 1, which is 2, because the variable x is carrying a value of 1. Okay, this is a variable. A variable is a container which stores a value. a constant, a number. And another concept which you learned here is substitution. Substituting, replacing a variable with a value is substitution. A good example which I gave you is, think about a teacher who comes as a substitute for the teacher who has not come that day. It's a substitute. Okay? That teacher is replaced by another teacher. Same ways, you replace a variable with a value. Okay? Now let's clear off this and learn what are constants. Okay, now I'll give you a few other examples of variables. Just try to get the thing clear. So if I say Z, if I say Z or Z is equal to 2, what is the value of Z square plus 2Z plus 1? What is the value of this equation or value of this? So what we learned in the last lesson is, what we learned here is variables, and we learned another concept called substitution. So let's substitute the variable z's value in this equation. I'm going to replace 2 in place of z. Wherever z is there, I'm replacing the value of z. So this I'm just writing where z is. This is z square, and here is another z plus 1. So continuing this, we have 2 square, which is 4, plus 2 into 2 is 4, plus 1, which is 4 plus 4 plus 1 is 9. So the value of z square plus 2z plus 1 is equal to 9 if z is equal to 2. Understood? So this is, we are using variables and we are using something called substitution. You substitute a variable's value in a equation to get its value out. A very important concept to remember in fundamentals of mathematics. Every student has got problems with understanding variables. So just get these terms right. And this fundamental need of variable comes in all fields of mathematics. It comes in, it will be used in computers. If you're doing programming, you need something called variables and you substitute. So always remember, the fundamental thing about variables is you can use any letter as a container to store a value in it. You can, in computers, if you see, variables are also used. If I say X is also used to store something called strings, which you might learn later on. If you're doing programming or something, you might learn this. So if I say X plus Venkat, and I'm just giving it a name. So what is X plus Venkat is X, you know it is Venu, so it is Venu plus Venkat. So I'm just giving a crude example of what programming will look like, but this is what people do using variables. So You can add strings. These are strings. So let's not go into it. So I'm just giving you a idea what variables and how to what extent these variables are important in your future career as a programmer or whatever. Okay. So even now you might be doing small programs in which you might come across the using of variables and substitution to a very large extent. Okay. So let's jump on to knowing what are constants now.